It's wash day, and the plan is to do a 3-strand twist out. If you want to see how that's done, make sure you come back to this channel. If you are new to maintaining your natural hair, or you're a parent trying to figure out how to maintain hair that is coarse, coily, or curly, you've come to the right place. Because this video is going to give you the step-by-step, play-by-play directions on how to maintain natural 4C, 4B, 3C hair. We are going to start with pre-pooing. We're going to use the Mayel Rosemary Mint Collection for all things wash day. If you are going from dry hair to shampoo, you're doing it wrong. I don't care how long you've been doing it. Your hair needs to be as detangled as possible and as moisturized as possible before you head to that shampoo bowl or the shower. So I separated my hair into 2 sections in the back, 1 large section in the middle or crown, and 2 sections in the front. So 5 total sections. Depending on the length or thickness of your hair, you may need more or fewer sections. Also, depending on where your different textures are. Nobody's hair is all one texture uniformly throughout. My coarsest section is in that middle crown area. That's why I section it out. So make sure you have a good conditioner, a detangling brush like the Unbrush, a good detangling comb that's going to further separate your hair like this 3-row defining comb. You'll also need a spray bottle and some clips. I prefer the alligator clips because they hold all of this thick hair. Spray down a section, get you a good dollop of conditioner, and disperse that conditioner all through your hair, being sure to use your fingers to finger detangle your hair. The best way to do that is to push your fingers through the hair section all the way to the base of your fingers. When your fingers reach a tangle, you want to take your fingers out and you want to go back through again. If you have a stubborn tangle at the ends, you don't want to pull your fingers through it. You want to stop and separate that hair gently with your fingers. If you have more than a tangle, if you have a knot, then you want to take your finger and gently separate the hair from the bottom of that tangle or knot. I'm going from a 2-week twist out with the last few days up in a high puff, which means I expect for there to be tangles and or knots. I also expect that I will have some shedding because I have not been combing my hair every day, but you don't want to be ripping your hair out. Once it's good and detangled with your fingers, you want to go in with your detangling brush or your unbrush to ensure that you are doing as little pulling and tugging as possible. Always hold the hair at the base as you go through with your detangling brush and your detangling comb. You always want to start from your ends, work your way up to the mid shaft, and then to your root. And then you are going to 2-strand twist your hair and wrap it into a Bantu knot so that that moisturizing conditioning product can absorb into your hair. And this is how much hair ended up in my detangling brush and comb. Very little. From that one section, of course. Repeat that process with each additional section. And here is an example of a section that was severely tangled with lots of knots. I've sprayed it down, applied my conditioner, and now I am going through the hair to make sure that that conditioner is evenly distributed and to finger detangle. And boy, am I getting problems. So as you see, I am now stopping and raking through those ends, right? You can see where they're still kind of twisted from the twist out. So I'm raking through those ends with my fingers. I am pulling gently. When I find another tangle, I stop and then go back and detangle just with the tips of my fingers and separating that hair as much as I can without ripping it out. When I find a knot, I am focusing on that knot and separating my hair. Here you see me separating a very large clump gently, little by little. Okay, when I get resistance, I stop and I smooth until I can isolate and find the exact spot where that knot is and gently separate the hair there. I'm going to pull away a very small knot, but it's not going to be nearly as much hair coming out as if I were to just rip my fingers through. This is at normal speed. It's not sped up and it's not slowed down. And this is how much hair came out from that detangling. You can imagine how much more it would have been if I didn't take my time. After the last section, I'm going to show you all of the shed hair, dead hair, and tangled hair that was removed from this detangling process, further highlighting why you need to pre-poo before you shampoo. You don't need to buy a fancy pre-poo. You can use whatever conditioner you have. I prefer using my deep conditioner. All 5 sections done, and this is what it looks like. And this is the hair that I quote unquote lost, most of which, like I said, was shed or dead. Not bad. Not bad at all. I like to pre-poo for at least 30 minutes, but it had probably been multiple hours. And now it's time to wash my hair in the shower. As I said, we're using the Miel Rosemary and Mint Oil collection for our wash day. We're also going to use a microfiber wrap instead of a towel. And we're going to take our unbrush and our detangling comb right along with us. And to keep things PG-13, I'm in a tank and some shorts. I hate water in my face. It takes me a while to adjust to the experience, so I have to use my hands to kind of block that water. So first we're going to thoroughly rinse out that deep conditioner, and then we're going to preserve water by turning the water off and thoroughly lathering our hair with the shampoo. I use about 2 pumps and I get in there good. Even though I don't take the twists out, I definitely get in there good because I do scrub my scalp and I pretty much smooth over the shaft and the ends of the hair when I go to rinse it out. Those twists come out for the most part. So water back on, we are rinsing thoroughly, even though we do plan to do a second shampoo. Again, we turned the water off, 2 pumps of shampoo and a second lather. And as you see, that second time, that shampoo lathers a whole lot more. That's why you traditionally do 2 shampoos, because you know that it's going to get cleaner that second time. That first time, it kind of gets the residual. It's getting what's left over from the pre-poo. It's getting the dirt that's kind of on the surface. And then that second shampoo is going to get all down in there. Most of us have washed our own hair before, but like I said at the beginning, this is a video for those of us who are going natural for the first time and or those who are raising children who have a different hair texture than us. And we need to know how best to do this process to ensure that we're not tangling the hair, getting the hair knotted up, causing pain, etc. So now we're all shampooed and we're going in with our conditioner. We're going to use 1 pump for the ends and mid shaft and 1 pump for the roots and even distribution. And we are pulling those twists out if they are not completely out so that we can run our fingers all through it the same way we did when we were detangling for our pre-poo. We're also going to use our brush just like we did with the pre-poo, and we're going to use our detangling comb as well. We're going to then 2-strand twist that hair and put it back in a Bantu knot. I prefer to put a plastic bag on my head so that the heat from my scalp can give me a semi-steam treatment. But since I was not getting in and out of the shower, I just did it this way. So this is what it looks like from the front and the back. You'll notice that I did this process from front to back because that's how I'm going to rinse the conditioner out. And I want to make sure that the sections in the back have conditioner on them for the same amount of time as the sections in the front. So now it's time to rinse. If you saw that ugly face I made, it's because I started this water on cool and I had to keep adjusting it down to keep it cool because it's best to rinse your conditioner with cool or water as cold as you can stand. And baby, I was freezing. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but one of the reasons why I hate washing my hair in the shower is because the conditioner, no matter what kind I use, makes my entire body itch, which means I have to hurry up, get this conditioner out, and then thoroughly scrub my personage. So thoroughly rinse, I threw on my microfiber wrap, and now it is time to shower. All done, we're going to get out, dry off, moisturize our personage. And this is all of the hair that came out from that second detangling during the conditioning. And now it's time for our leave-in conditioner, also by Miel, and our pomade to oil. We are going to apply both to each section. 1 pump will do. 1 little dollop of the pomade will do, and we will distribute and detangle just like we did with the pre-poo and the conditioner. One of the things that I do to try to ensure that the product is evenly distributed is when I take those twists apart, I use the product that's on one hand for one section and the product on the other hand for the other section before I join that section together. Since the plan is to do the 3-strand twist out on dry stretched hair, I am putting each section into 2-strand twists and turning them into band 2 knots, and I'm going to let it dry basically overnight.